Okay, I just muted the telephone line, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So real quickly, before we get started, I just want to let everyone know how to use this telephone system so that you're not confused as to how to navigate the system. At the end, I'm happy to take a Q&A time for any questions that you have, but just through the duration of the call, I'm going to keep questions, or I'm going to avoid all questions, actually, just because I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can and be in integrity with the time and make sure I get through the information that you need. But I would encourage you, as with all my calls, to make sure that you have your trusty pen, your favorite journal or paper next to you, notepad, and take really good notes tonight, because I can promise you that if you incorporate these facets into your brand, you're going to be well on your way to brand omnipresence. Now, many of you already know there are 69 facets to brand omnipresence, and we've already released 10 of them a few weeks ago. Hopefully by now you've all seen the video with the 10 brand omnipresence facets, but if you haven't, certainly message me on Facebook and let me know, and I'll make sure that you get that, or you can just go to brandomnipresence.com. You can put your information in, and it'll be right there once you put your information in. If you've just joined us, thank you so much for joining us. I know there's a lot of people still signing on, so welcome. And again, grab a notepad and a pen. I'm going to go through this training tonight and offer you as much information as I can. And at the end, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And I have a special offer for the guests that are going to be on our call tonight that have not done my trainings before. So make sure you hang in there and listen up. I believe in commitment 100%. So while there's many other things that you could be doing tonight, you're here with me, and I'm blessed to have you in my presence. But I ask that you stay until the end, because that's what leaders do. And as I said last night, how we do anything is how we do everything. So I'm looking for your 100% commitment tonight. I'm looking for your attention. I'm looking to see that you're engaged, and I want to make sure that you get the most out of what I'm offering here tonight. And as I said, for those of you that just joined us, we already released 10 of the facets a couple weeks ago. If you don't have that, you can go to brandomnipresence.com to get it. Tonight we're going to be unveiling the last 5, and then the rest will be taught in my Brand Omnipresence Bootcamp, which is actually kicking off tomorrow night. And we already have over 50 fabulous people. I was telling everyone we had 50 fabulous women and 1 man, which was Avi Uniglick, but once he stuck out like a sore thumb, we got other men who kind of, I don't want to say sore thumb because I love him, but we got a bunch of other men that are now joining us, and I'm really excited about that. So you have to be a real man to not be intimidated by pink, and all of you know that that's a big part of my world. So I thank you, and I applaud you for being here tonight. And tomorrow, everything that I'm offering tonight will be available by way of video, so you'll have full access to the training that I provided tonight to share with anybody that you want to share with. And we also have an affiliate program if you're interested in being a part of the boot camp and sharing the message. We have an affiliate program that I can get you more information on after we conclude tonight. So as long as I have everyone's commitment to be here until the very end of the call, then I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I want to start out by congratulating you for being here. The people that are the movers and shakers in this world are really the 1%, maybe even as high as 5%. But you're really the 1% who are looking to excel in your life, put your head above the crowd and say, I'm different. Decide that you want more out of your life than just mediocrity. So I applaud you for being here because, again, I know there's a lot of things going on tonight. My 3 children are running around, not in bed yet. I know the debates are on tonight. And I applaud you for taking the time out of your busy evening to be with me here and learn. So I want to congratulate you and thank you for that first and foremost. I believe in decisive action, and I believe that when you make decisive decisions, take decisive action, the universe always works on your behalf. So I want to read something to you that I believe so strongly in. Successful people take decisive action. They don't overthink everything. Rather, they trust their gut. When they are presented with an opportunity that answers their greatest challenge, they say yes to it immediately, knowing that it was divinely given. They don't hesitate. They don't delay. They know that because the opportunity was presented, it was meant to be. This is the one universal characteristic that makes them successful and helps them create results that astound all others around them. So, again, I applaud you. The universe rewards decisive action. Whatever you put out, you get in return tenfold. I reward decisive action. So I want to start out by telling you a little bit about myself tonight. Many of you know my name is Kellie Kuecha. That is how you pronounce my name, even though it doesn't look that way. I've actually branded myself as the brand Recoder. And if you look up the word Recoder in the dictionary, it doesn't exist, which is awesome because in the first training, I taught about creating your own unique terminology. And when you create unique terminology and you see that little red line underneath of the word in your Microsoft Word program, I give that a thumbs up. That's awesome. So I like to create terminology for my clients that is unique to their brand, and therefore their brand monikers are also unique many times when you see the little red line come under the moniker. So my name is Kellie Kuecha, the brand Recoder, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what that means in terms of my Chickapedia definition. And if you were on our last call, you know what Chickapedia is. She blazes a trail for her clients by utilizing her proprietary methods of decoding their passions, life story, adversities, values, and career paths, and recodes them into a highly recognizable and undeniably unique brand that combines their expertise with their soul gravity, charged with her superior street smart savvy, intuitive nature, and extensive expertise. The brand Recoder is well programmed to take an unknown woman entrepreneur from obscurity to worldwide omnipresence, enabling them to own their world. What is brand omnipresence? It is the end result of being fully branded, where one is recognized specifically and strategically in a targeted niche with full authenticity and relatability, combined with a powerfully magnetic message and movement that transcends all geographical boundaries. And I'm here to tell you tonight, when you have brand omnipresence, you no longer have to go out there, struggle, and tell people who you are and what you do. Wouldn't it be more powerful to just show up and everyone already know who you are and have a good idea what you do? Because you've dominated your niche, you've built a strong brand, and this takes work, it takes time, it takes effort. But once you get the understanding and the foundation down, then every day you spend your time a little bit more marketing and managing your brand. And that's a lot easier than having to go out, schlepping around, trying to convince people that they should do business with you. And that's what I really want for all of you. People who have an omnipresent brand don't have to speak about their greatness. Their brand does all the work for them. So let's start out with facet number 2. That's where we're going to begin tonight, is facet number 2. So if you're taking notes, facet number 2 is niche. N-I-C-H-E. Some people say niche. I say niche. Now, if you've ever studied marketing, I'm sure you've probably heard the term by now. The tighter the niche, the quicker you get rich. It is so very true. So many people do not operate within a niche. They try to be all things to all people. And that is where many, many brands go downhill immediately. It does not take long for your potential clientele to see that you're all over the place. It doesn't take much. So basically today, with social media being such a prevalent part of our lives, people having that window into our lives, they can sense instantly when you're all over the place. When you go to a networking event, those people can sense instantly if you are not dominating your niche, if you don't have confidence within your niche and you're not specifically targeting a specific market within that niche. How do they know it? Because your commercials are shaky. You start out with your commercials by saying things like, well, I do a lot of things, but here's what I really do, or here's one of the things that I do. If you start out your sentences by saying, well, I do a lot of things, then right off the bat, you've cut your neck right in the middle. You don't want to ever answer that way. You want to have a very polished commercial that enables you to powerfully represent yourself, but even better, when you have a brand that does the heavy lifting for you. And again, if you're building in a specific niche, geographical area, let's say, and you decide you want to join a local chamber or networking event and you're doing a lot of effort building your brand online, you can show up and have people already know who you are. So I want you to kind of think of your brand as sort of a celebrity status. That's kind of how you have to envision it, and that's what you have to embody as you go out there and powerfully represent yourself. I walk into a room already assuming everyone knows who I am. get the jitters and the fears and all those kind of things. I pretty much socialize, but I wait for people to come to me, and I always have my professional name badge on, not one of the ones that's given to me, the sticky ones. I have my own done with my name, so when people see that, my name is already recognizable. But let's get back to niche here for a second. You want to be known for only one thing, and you want to expand from there. So here are some of the people that you all have, some of you may have in your home, and you may know these names very well. When you think of the name Keurig, that's actually someone's last name. That man started with just a simple coffee maker, and what he did was he revolutionized the entire coffee industry with one product, a new way of brewing your coffee. Became so popular that the entire coffee industry had to adjust by now creating K-Cups. He didn't come out of the gates with a bunch of different products. He came out with one product. Today, when you look up Keurig, you'll see a plethora of products under his name. But he started with one, he dominated the niche, and then he grew from there. Now, many of you know the name Vera Wang. She also started with one thing, custom bridal gowns. Today, you see Vera Wang's name on everything, from sunglasses to candles to makeup to beds to bedding to simply Vera in Kohl's. To lower-end lines and things like that. She is everywhere. She's omnipresent, and it started out with just bridal gowns. She gained an incredible, impeccable reputation, and she expanded from there. Now, I always like to mention James Dyson, who's the creator of the Dyson vacuum cleaner, because I have a Dyson, and I'm so proud of it. I'm part of the Dyson tribe, and I love being a Dyson owner. And it's not the most expensive, not the cheapest vacuum on the market, but it's definitely worthwhile pursuing if you are in the market to get one. Now, when Dyson started, he spent many, many years trying to invent the best vacuum cleaner on the market from merely a suction perspective. And then he perfected the way the vacuum pieces go together so they're real simple and simplistic to use. And they have an 800 hotline that you can call anytime you have a question or a problem with your Dyson. So there's a lot of added value with his brand, but since he launched his first vacuum, he now has an entire line of products. So hooray for Dyson, great example of brand omnipresence. Burberry. Burberry started with trench coats. Mr. Burberry started in the fashion world with the trench coat back in the late 1800s. It was a men's trench coat. Today, the Burberry brand is omnipresent because they're primarily a women's product now, but perfumes and sunglasses and purses, their purses, their scarves. You know that plaid design when you see it, but Burberry has full stores filled with products when only starting with one product, which was the trench coat. So again, you cannot dominate your niche within your brand if you are trying to be all things to all people. So please, your customers and potential clients don't need to know that you do a million things. They will find that out over time. You've got Facebook. You get the chance to microblog every single day, little pieces and facets of who you are. You don't need to say it all at once. And again, never start your sentences with, well, I do a lot of things, but. Okay? Now, I say you want to have a very specific niche. However, in the beginning, as you're building your business and building your brand, you want to cast the net wide with your message. And we're not going to talk about messaging tonight. We're going to talk more about that in the course itself. But you want to cast the net wide with your message, but stick tightly to your niche, if that makes any sense. So in other words, I want my messages that I put out on a regular basis to be appealing to many, many people. And as those people work their way up my sales funnel by relationship building, by trying some of my free products, by engaging in some of my paid programs, they work their way closer up to my target market and more into my niche market, if that makes any sense. But I want to cast the net wide with my general messages that I use on a regular basis. But we all have one core message, but there's thousands of different ways to spin that message every single day, and that's what you kind of see that I do on Facebook myself. Know when to say no to things that are outside your niche. This is so very important. I had a client call me just a couple of days ago and had a tremendous job that they wanted to embark with me on, joint venture with me. They do a lot of social media work for big corporations, and they wanted to turn those corporations over to me for branding and do a joint venture split. So really, the business would be right within my lap. but I can do corporate branding. I don't feel passionate about it. I love personal branding. I love the way it empowers entrepreneurism, entrepreneurs, free enterprise. I love what it brings to the average individual who's trying to make a go of business in this world. So I actually said no to doing that joint venture, but it's also not my core competency. It doesn't really fit within my niche market. So I said no to it, and it felt really good because I want to focus my efforts solely on what my niche is and getting better at it every single day. Now, let me give you an example of someone who operates within a very specific niche so you can kind of get an idea of what that may look like. So here we have someone who does organizing for a living. Now, when you're good at organizing, you can organize everything from people's kitchen sinks to their drawers to their bedrooms to just organizing their whole home. There have been times I've paid organizers to come into my home. But how could you really specialize in that business a little bit better? Well, you could just specialize in organizing people's walk-in closets, or maybe you just specialize in the kitchen area. But here's a specific business I want to highlight for you tonight because this is one of my former clients. So she decided that she was good at organizing, and she wanted to develop a specific niche in the speakers business, in the speaking business basically. So she would then frequent National Speaker Association events, women's organizations, special interest groups looking for speakers that she could offer her services to keep them organized throughout their speaking career, organized with their products, organized with their events, their sales, their future engagements. This person even invented a speaker suitcase where you could put your PowerPoint, your business cards, your upsell sheets, your voice recorder, your remote control for your PowerPoint, and all the important stuff that you needed to not leave the house with and forget. She organized she invented an actual speaker's suitcase that she's still trying to get to market. She even has a speaker's checklist and a planner that can be used whenever you go to your speaking engagements to track all of your inventory, track your engagements, track your prospects, and track your income. Very, very key niche there, as you can see. So while she can organize anybody, she has a very tight niche. And the tighter the niche, the quicker you get rich, right? So what I want you all to do is I want you to write out your niche in full detail. And then I want you to focus on building your brand around that niche. Okay? So very, very specifically. Now, those of you that are in my program already that are starting tomorrow night, you'll be doing this exercise with your accountability partner, and you'll be discussing it with your accountability partner. But if you're not in the program, I encourage you to still do this and utilize this facet to the best of your ability in your brand because, again, whether or not you're organized within your niche and you know who you're going after, will have everything to do with regard to who wants to hire you and whether or not people take you seriously. Facet number 61. It goes hand in hand with niche, and that is your target market. Now, I want to go back to the person I just mentioned here a little bit ago who specializes in organization and specializes in organization for speakers. This person's target market is speakers, but those speakers range in age from 35 to 55, and she specializes in helping them become more recognizable while making them more organized. So she's looking for people who need to become more recognizable as a speaker. However, she only wants to work with female speakers who already have a book and or info products who have been speaking no less than 3 years. So they have to be somewhat seasoned. Okay? That is what a specific target market is. And the way in which you can work and determine what your target market is to do this exercise. So write this down. A day in the life of space in my target market looks like this. So I would write that to say a day in the life of the woman in my target market looks like this. And here's how you're going to answer that question. Where do they shop? In my case, where does she shop? What's on her mind? How much does she make? How old is she? What are her struggles? And that's probably one of the most important ones. What are their struggles? Because people pay you for one thing, and that's results. So in order for them to want to pay you for results, you have to expose the pain and show them that you're the solution to that pain, right? But in order to refine that target market very specifically, you have to be able to speak the language of that individual. And the only way that you can do that is to get inside the head and heart of that individual. Okay, that's called mind share marketing. Okay, so I want you to take some time as you're going through these facets when we're done tonight, deciding what the day in the life of that individual looks like. And then I want you to develop a strategy as to how you're going to go about getting into relationship with those type of people. Now, there's all kinds of strategies that I'm going to be teaching in the Brand Omnipresence program to go after those people, but you may already be using strategies, but I want you to be very specific with measurable things that you can check off every single week and then track your return on investment, your return on your time. Next facet, facet number 42, which is lifestyle. Now, as you know, a diamond has many different facets, and lifestyle in your brand is a big one. Everything you do becomes part of your brand. Where and what you eat, where you go, where you live, what you do, how you live, how you spend your recreational time. Your followers are watching. And they're buying into how you live. If you liked fried chicken and you talked about eating fried chicken all the time, you would attract other people that liked fried chicken. I have a friend who does a blog on commentating on the worst pizza in the entire South Florida area. And naturally, he's going to attract a lot of people who like pizza and want to check out his reviews. I'm sure there's lots of endorsement deals and sponsorships and all kinds of other great things, but people are buying into our lifestyles. And I know some of you may be sitting on the phone tonight thinking, well, I don't have any great lifestyle. My life's not that great. And that's silly to even say because that's just a crazy limiting belief that you have about yourself. But every one of you has an incredible lifestyle. It's all in how you position it out there for the world to see. So the positioning part is pretty key. But every one of you has an amazing lifestyle, and if you believe that, then you wouldn't be afraid to share it with the world. So I remember about 6 months ago when we were deciding to move out of Boca Raton. I moved from New Jersey to Boca Raton about 12 years ago, and about 6 months ago when we decided to leave Boca and come over to Wellington, which is about a half an hour away, I can't begin to tell you how many people said to me, why would you ever leave Boca Raton? It's so much a part of your brand. And the ironic thing was, here I am so conscious of everything that's part of my brand, I had never seen it that way. I had never really thought of Boca Raton being a big part of my brand, aside from the fact then that many of the buildings are painted pink. I love that. It's a beautiful city, and there's a lot of wealth and success there. But the demographic really isn't my demographic, both from a business perspective and from a mom perspective and from a woman's perspective. Where I lived was a much older demographic with a lot of retirees, and although we lived less than a mile away from the beach and had a great home, it just didn't suit my lifestyle anymore. So we made the bold decision to move to serve many different purposes in our lives. But, you know, it's amazing how my followers saw Boca Raton as such a big part of my brand, and I hadn't seen that myself. And as I questioned them, I think many of them just felt that it was the lifestyle choice that I had made to live in that city that made my brand seem so glamorous. But I was willing to take that risk and move because ultimately we all want happiness, right? But I'm so happy with the lifestyle that I have now, and I live, eat, sleep, and breathe that, so it's all good, right? As long as we're happy, people want a piece of that happiness. So it doesn't really matter where I live because I'm happy in my heart, right? But nonetheless, your lifestyle must reflect the target market that you wish to attract. That's just the bottom line. So let me say that again. Your lifestyle must reflect the target market you wish to attract. Now, I want to tell you for a second here how I got around the important people, the movers and shakers, and the top-end, high-end events when I had no money and knew no one. First of all, again, you've got to believe that you're the celebrity or that you're the queen of your own world or king of your own world. And then it's an attitude, it's a way of being that I've always had. And it's not an attitude of being above or better than anybody else. It's just, this is who I am. I'm confident in who I am, and you need to know who I am because I know that if you do, I'll somehow enhance your life. So it's just my way of being. But when I didn't have money and I didn't have connections, because I'm such a big believer in getting to know the people who make things happen wherever you go, whether it be within your community, within your state, within the country, whatever that world is for you, you've got to get to know the people who make things happen. And that's always a desire of mine wherever I go. So when I didn't have the money and didn't have the connections, I would volunteer a lot for multiple different charities. Now I just have a few that I affiliate myself with, and we're starting our own. But I would volunteer a lot, and I would always take the position of sitting at the registration table so I could get to see the people and shake hands with the movers and shakers when they were coming in the door. Then I would always get invited into the gala itself and have dinner with everybody else. So getting around the most influential people, but I was also showing up at the most influential places, getting my picture taken with those influential people, putting those pictures in the society sections of the magazines and up on Facebook now and those kind of things. This is how I initially built my brand. So the lifestyle piece was very important. You've got to build a lifestyle plan and put it into your business and interweave it into your brand and live purposefully. Okay, I do everything that I do very consciously as to how it's going to affect my brand, and you need to do the same. Utilize Facebook to share your lifestyle. Don't be afraid to do so. You know, there's so many people that are afraid to share Facebook. And I have to tell you, I don't really have that interesting of a life, but when people see it on the other side by way of my pictures, they think I have this busy, grandiose life, and I do in my own world, right? Because it's all perception in your own world. I love my life. I'm in a happy relationship. I have beautiful children who are healthy. I do love my home. I live in a great city, but you probably don't know this. I'm home 90 to 95% of my time because I just love being home. So when I do go out, I take pictures and I post them on Facebook, but, you know, I'm pretty much a homebody, and I'm most comfortable in my sweatpants and in my hair in a ponytail. But to me, that's lifestyle. And I want to attract other people that are comfortable in their sweatpants and ponytails but want to make a high six-figure income from home. So I'm not afraid to share that part of my lifestyle. And that's why I'm saying you all have great lifestyles. Don't be afraid to share them. Think about it this way. You have your own reality show right now. It's called Facebook. Don't wait for producers to discover you. I remember when I started in the business of doing conferences and events years ago, I thought I had such great ideas, and I just knew somebody like Oprah was going to come along and discover me, and I would be on the Oprah show, and I just knew people were going to come and discover me. And you know what? It never happened. So I decided one day, many moons ago, that I was going to own my world. And what that meant to me was I wasn't going to wait any longer for people to invite me to their stage or on their show or invite me to be a part of their book. I was going to create my own reality right then, right there. I can't sit any longer and wait for people to invite me to their big stage. I will create my own big stage. And that's why my tagline is what it is, own your world, because that's what I want for you too. That's what I love to help empower other people to do, is own their world. And it's just a sense of knowing that you're good enough deep down at the core to do whatever it is that you desire to do. So you can create whatever lifestyle you want to create within your world and have fun doing it. Don't get stressed about it. Put a plan of action together. Everything I'm teaching you tonight needs to have a plan of action to go with it. You can't just go about these facets haphazardly. You have to be able to measure and monitor each and every one of them. Facet number 33 is your tribe/brand ambassadors. So facet 33 is your tribe/brand ambassadors. Now, if you did my magnetic money wheel training, you would have heard me talk more in depth about tribe building. And if you haven't done that, you can just go to magneticmoneywheel.com. It's only a 20-minute training, but it's pretty in-depth, and I definitely encourage you to take it when you get a chance. But just head on over there. You don't even have to opt in. You can just watch the video, but certainly don't do that right now. Wait till we're all done tonight. So really, gone are the days where, people buy on features and benefits and those kind of things. People, when they buy today, when today's consumer makes a purchase, they are looking to see what tribe they're going to belong to when they make that purchase. And whether that be a conscious decision or a subconscious decision, it is the way in which we are buying today. And there has been billions of dollars spent in market research figuring this out. It's just the way it is. People want to belong. It's one of the 6 human needs is wanting to belong, right? That's why we're seeing movements popping up all over the place. You may have seen Heinz ketchup. Now, when you look at their ketchup bottles, it says right on the front label, join the movement. Everybody wants you to become a part of their tribe. Now, whoever thought we'd be joining a ketchup tribe, right? But there's a big message behind their tribe, and it's about saving trees and all kinds of great stuff like that. So think about some of the tribes that you belong to. And I always make my clients make a list of the tribes they belong to, and you'd be surprised how many tribes you belong to. And I'll give you some of the examples of some that kind of rolled off the top of my head. Apple, Mac computers. A couple years ago, actually it's been about a year and a half ago, I am not the technology person, as many of you know, and Cliff always says everything that I touch that's electronic breaks, and so I've now formed that belief that that's the truth, and so therefore I do break everything that's electronic. But nonetheless, I was very afraid to join the Apple tribe because I was so set in my ways with my PC computer and all that stuff, but I was always breaking it to the point that the fan was constantly running and the computer was always getting locked up, and I always had to reboot it, and I thought there's got to be a better way. So we decided to convert our whole home over to Mac, and it was one of the best decisions that we ever made personally. But professionally, it's where both of our businesses started to take a huge turn because Mac offers so many great things that the other companies don't because of the tribe that they have. If you've ever gone into a Mac store, even if you're not a Mac user right now, you probably have an iPhone or something to that effect, an iPod. Go into that store. It is some of the most incredible energy you will ever experience. You can just literally walk in and you're just overwhelmed. Take a deep breath and you're just overwhelmed by all the energy in there. I love the feeling of creativity and innovation and entrepreneurism when I walk into that store. It's just such a great feeling. So I'm always trying to find a reason to have to go in there. But I love belonging to their tribe, and I just feel like I'm at a whole different level of even human being because I'm part of the Apple tribe. It's just how much I adore what they've brought to my life. Think about all of the millions of people that belong to one of the biggest tribes in our country, which is NASCAR, a multi-billion-dollar industry because people that are NASCAR fans eat, sleep, and breathe NASCAR. And how do I know that? Because my ex-husband was into NASCAR, and every Sunday was consumed by watching races and getting tickets to races and NASCAR shirts. And, oh, my gosh, it was such the opposite of who I was, but it's okay. It was all good. But I got to know that tribe very well through him. And it wasn't my kind of tribe because you don't find any pink in NASCAR, but again, it's just another one of those tribes that people love. Now, how about the Rolex tribe? You know, now there are so many different watch manufacturers, but when I was coming up in the ranks in business, it was very prestigious to have a Rolex, and I couldn't wait to get my first. And, you know, once I got my first Rolex, it's like I noticed everybody else who had one, and ever since then, I always look to see what kind of watch people are wearing. And belonging to the Rolex tribe was just a feeling of prestige. I don't know any other way to kind of say it, but, you know, you start to now get to know all the other people who wear Rolexes, and it's just a certain type of individual, usually entrepreneurs, successful people that wear them. And so, you know, a watch says a lot about a person, and I loved belonging to that tribe when I did. Now, honestly, I could care less, but at the time, it worked for me. People that have Porsches belong to that tribe, and you guys get the idea. But one of the 6 human needs that we all have is to belong to something greater than ourselves. So how does your brand involve people in a tribe? Is it inviting? Do you have a movement attached to your message? And we're going to talk about that in other facets as we go through the program, the Brand Omnipresence program, but it's something to really think about. What are you inviting them into, and how is their life going to change as a result of being a part of your tribe? Okay? If I decide to join you, how are you going to enhance my life? Is the question that I have. So write that down. If I decide to join you, how are you going to enhance my life? And will the experience be so good that I want to run out and tell my friends to join also. And what you probably don't already know is that many of you already have silent tribe members watching you right now, and you don't even know who they are. And that's the beauty of having an omnipresent brand. Every day, people come to me and say, I've been watching you for years. There are people on this call tonight and in this program who have said the exact same thing to me. I've been watching you for the last 3 or 4 years. And now they finally decide that this is a program that they want to take, but they've been silent members of my tribe all along. But then you've got people who are the more outspoken members of your tribe, and they're your brand ambassadors. So what you want to do is those silent tribe members that you don't know, you want to find ways to send them love every single day. And that's, again, another thing I love so much about social media is you can send out that love through the cyber airwaves, and they're going to feel it. And every time they shake their head and they say, I like her just a little bit more, they become that much more vested in your tribe. And when your tribe members love you so much that they go out and share you with their friends, you then have brand ambassadors. And that's a huge turning point in your business, because if you get enough brand ambassadors, then you will seldom have to work at finding clients ever again. So I want you to ask yourself this question, write this down. How many brand ambassadors do I have right now? Make a list of the people that you know that are out there singing your praises. You need to pinpoint them. Why? Because you've got to incentivize them. Incentivize them to do more, to say more, to speak more about your brand. Give them lots and lots of love and gratitude. So I want you to think of some strategies that you can use to incentivize those people to continue to help spread the word. And then in turn, because I always love to shower people with loads more value than what they've ever given me in return, I like to outvalue and outlove people. It's just one of the love games that I love to play. You showcase those people everywhere you go and create tremendous value for them in return at every chance that you get. If you've got brand ambassadors out there that have been singing your praises and you have a program like this that costs $497, you say, you know what? I love you so much, I'm going to give you a seat in that program. Because that's what you should be doing for your brand ambassadors. They don't come along often, but when they do, you take good care of them and you showcase them at every possible chance that you get. And when you showcase them, you give them a chance to promote their business, thereby leveraging their expertise and their profession and their brand, helping them to further expand their business by you doing so. So I hope I drove that point home. And we're coming in now to the last facet of the evening, which is facet number 69. And that is one of my favorite because it's the last one, and it's called Your Secret Sauce. Now, the only people that would be familiar with this are the people who just spent the last year with me in my Diamond Leadership Club program, who worked very diligently on their proprietary programs and their secret sauce methodologies. So what is a secret sauce? Well, think about your grandmom's secret tomato sauce recipe or her chocolate chip recipe that's been passed down through the many generations that no one's supposed to know about except for people in the family. And all the people that come over for dinner throughout the years and are at your house on the holiday are dying to know what that recipe is because they want some of that for themselves, right? Well, in your brand, when you have secret sauce methodologies, which is proprietary type systems, you elevate your brand so much more because now your information is all your own. So think about it this way. What if we're all just regurgitating a lot of the same information, right? Because many of us are. When we are the brand, though, that information becomes ours. But when we have a secret sauce, now that information is our own proprietary information. So while you may have 3 grandmom's chocolate chip recipes out there that you've tested and proven and loved, you take those 5 recipes and you make your own recipe out of them. That's your secret sauce, right? So what qualifies as secret sauce? Well, anything that's proprietary. And for those of you that like Shark Tank, you know they're always looking for things that have patents and trademarks and proprietary type systems that go along with them, because the intellectual property part of your business has tremendous value when you go to sell your company down the road. Okay? But in terms of a brand standpoint, it gives you amazing credibility that you would not have otherwise. Let me give you an example. If you are a practitioner of some sort and you get certified in a particular modality and you go out telling people that you're a certified blah, 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 you are lumped into that particular tribe of people who also teach that modality or use that modality. So you have a Me Too business pretty much. So if I'm going to call myself a coach and lump myself with the millions of other coaches in this country, then I'm just another Me Too coach, right? But if I create terminology for my name, that sets me apart. But if I take my certifications now that I have, and I'm not saying myself because I don't have certifications for modalities, but a lot of my clients do. So if we take their certifications now, we kind of just push that aside a little bit, and we create a secret sauce that is the certification stuff that they do along with their own stuff. I call it the way they cross the river. So let me just stop for a second and just give you a little bit of a metaphor so you can kind of visualize what I'm talking about here. So if there's, let's just say all of us tonight on the call are on one side of the river, and we all have to cross over to the other side. And there's this big river in between, and we're all sitting there trying to analyze how we're going to get across the river, and all of our limiting beliefs come up and our filters, how we're going to perceive this river. Some of us may look at it as a challenge. Some of us may say it's scary. Some of us may swim. Some of us may run. It doesn't matter as long as we get to the other side, right? So let's just say now, a half an hour later, we're all on the other side. Nobody's drowned. We all got to the other side. Whose way was the right way? And the answer is everybody's way was the right way because it was their way. And that's what you're trying to do when you create your secret sauce. You take your certification, you kind of put it in your back pocket, and you say, this is the way that I cross the river in my life. And because this is the way that I've done it and I've become successful at it, I'm going to make that my secret sauce. Now, let me give you an example of a way I could use this in my business right now, although I'm not going to at the present moment because I literally have no more time to create anything else. I helped my daughter who has ADHD. She's 8 years old, and she has struggled a lot in school. She's a straight A student, but she gets in trouble all the time for things that I have determined that are not behavioral issues. And I've done enough research on my own to figure that out. I didn't have to take her to get diagnosed. So I've now discovered a diet regimen, a vitamin regimen, and lifestyle changes that have made all the difference in the world now with her in just a very short period of time. It's only been 2 months that we've been doing this, and it's amazing the results that she's getting in school. Now, could I utilize my secret methodologies that I've used with my daughter to go build an entire wellness business? I absolutely could. I could start writing articles about it. I could start doing lectures about it. Do I care whether or not I'm a doctor? No, I absolutely don't. It doesn't make a difference to me. My kids have been healthy their entire lives. We don't use the doctor at all, and they're some of the most healthiest kids I've ever seen out there. Could I share my secret sauce with society and teach them how to keep their kids as healthy as I have? Absolutely, because I have the confidence to do so, and I have the secret sauce that I've used within my home to keep them healthy. Where people get stuck a lot in this is they don't have the confidence to share because they don't have the certifications, and they don't have the licensing or whatever behind their name that they feel they have to have in order to share their message. You don't have to. It's a bunch of crap. All you have to do is take your expertise and take your methodologies and put them into a proprietary system all your own, just like my 69 brand facets. I can build an entire program around 69 brand facets, give half of them away for free, and still have enough information to be able to create boot camps and groups and seminars and all kinds of stuff from this program. So when you learn how to really leverage proprietary secret sauce methodologies, your business is going to explode. You're going to be able to launch events, launch products, launch programs, get them recorded, create passive income, and the sky is the limit. So this is a big one for me because it just is so vital in your business that you start thinking differently when it comes to how you dispense and disseminate your information. So when I talk about proprietary secret sauces, I'm talking about intellectual property, stuff you can trademark and patent, secret formulas, systems, maps. Make your programs all your own, and that ultimately will give your brand credibility. And shame on the people who are signing off the call early. I have a report, and I know who you are. So I want you to think of some of the ways that you can chunk down your expertise into much smaller, bite-sized portions that you can then rebuild into a proprietary formula. This is the part of my job that I love so much because we all have such vast knowledge. All of you do. I'm sure if I sat down with any one of you, I would be able to take apart and dissect all of that expertise and chunk it into much smaller pieces of information and start selling it in various different mediums for you in a way that would work to stair-step all of your expertise into your higher-end type programs where you can ultimately start charging more for what you do. And I mean, isn't that what we all want, is more time and spend with our family and less time working and more money and enjoy doing so? These are the types of things that are going to get us there. So it's already 8:48, and I want to just kind of wrap this up here and tell you what some of the next steps are because I really like to be on time when I do these calls and be at least within an hour. First of all, again, I applaud you all for being here tonight. I hope that you were able to glean some knowledge from these 5 facets. There are many, many more to go, and again, these all take strategic planning to start to implement within your business. But it all begins with you, and that's what I want you to understand tonight. We're building personal brands. We're building you, the individual. We're taking the facets that you already have, and we're polishing them off in a way that you can get out there and be powerfully represented in a way that makes you feel comfortable and empowered, not where it feels like a struggle. I want you guys to get out of the habit of stop selling who you are, stop telling everybody who you are, and let that brand do the heavy lifting for you. Now, as you know, I have the Brand Omnipresence Bootcamp starting tomorrow night. And it's an 8-week online course. We already have 50-some people in the program, very elite individuals. If nothing else, I can tell you that the masterminding and the business exchanging has already started taking place as soon as that group formed a couple of weeks ago, and everybody is forming amazing relationships and already doing business with one another. So if nothing else, there's tremendous benefit there, and you're going to love all the people that are part of the program. But for the last couple of weeks, we've had the program priced at $497, which is the price of the program. And because you're here tonight, and I believe so much that 95% of success comes from just showing up, I always want to reward people for showing up, and I want to reward people for taking decisive action. So what I've asked my husband to do, and he just got home at 8 o'clock, and I haven't seen him since he walked in the door, and I hope and pray that he's already done this, but I asked him to go onto the website and change the price to $397, only until midnight tonight, because I'm not going to expose this price to the general public at all again. We kept it at $497, and that's where it is until the program starts tomorrow night. Because you showed up tonight, and I believe in you, and because you're going to take decisive action and pursue your dreams and what you desire for your life and for your family, we're lowering the price $100 tonight. If someone invited you on this call tonight, then you need to get with them and enroll through them because they were gracious enough to do so, and I really like to reward those people who get out there and are my own brand ambassadors. So please make sure you get with the person who invited you here tonight. But if you go to Brand Omnipresence, right now, you'll see on the website when you click on the link, the price still reflects $497, but when you click on the link and go to pay, you'll see that there'll be a $100 discount. And again, I'm only going to keep that up for tonight, and I'm not going to publicize it anywhere. It's only for you guys. So please, please do not let anything get in the way of your success. I'm here. If there's a desire, if there's a will and a desire, I will help you make it happen. But nothing drives me more crazy than for somebody to say to me 2 or 3 days from now, I really wanted to be in your program, but I just couldn't find the means to do so. You can find the means. If there's a will, there's a way. And all you have to do is reach out to me and say, Kellie, I have the desire. What can we do if you're one of those people? If you're not and you're ready to take decisive action, go ahead and do so, okay? I applaud you again for being on this call tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing the rest of you in our Brand Omnipresence Bootcamp starting tomorrow night. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook or in the Brand Omnipresence group directly after the call. Have an awesome night, everybody, and I'm going to open up the phone lines for anyone.
We're beautiful.